What's going on, y'all? This is your girl, Shauna Speaks, and this is the Male and Female Perspective Podcast. And we have a great show for you tonight. Yes, y'all, we'll be talking about mental health from the lens of a man with my co host, Just Comply.
What's going on, Shauna? How you doing?
I'm good. And as you know, let's go.
Let's get it.
What's going on? What's going on? This is the Male Female Perspective Podcast, and I'm your host, Shauna Speaks to Inspire, and I'm here with my dope co-host, Just Comply.
What's going on? Happy Friday. Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday. Happy Friday. Y'all, thank
Yes,
you for
ma'am.
tuning in to the Male and Female Perspective Podcast, where emotions versus the logic. We are two people coming together to bridge the gap between the male-female war and showing our male and female perspective on different things, topics, relationships, religion, trending topics. And we are here tonight and we all be talking about the mental health of a man from the lens of a man with my co-host, Just Comply.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Definitely, it's a subject that's very near and dear to me.
Okay.
Um, a lot of people, that has this type of topic, that's like to brush this, with a broad paintbrush. Just
Yeah.
and it's more nuanced than people would like to make it seem,
Right.
um, because of the fact that there's a lot of people. There's male and female. There's a lot of people that's hurt out here.
Hurt
Um,
people.
but I
Yes.
I can't speak about what the women and what the females have to deal with. I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you from the male perspective that growing up from a young age all the way
Sorry
up
for the
into
background, y'all.
all the way up into I got to be a grown man. um there weren't very many safe spaces for men to express how they feel.
Right.
And with not with not being able to do that, well, you don't know that there are certain things that trigger or certain things that traumatize you over life that you need help for. Like some
Right.
things is simple enough, you can make it through, but then certain things you really do honestly need to sit down and have someone to help you to unpack
Yeah.
this luggage, because if you don't, you'll carry it on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person,
Or that
not
luggage will
realizing,
burst
yeah,
and to be
not
spewed all over the
realizing that
place.
you're hurting not only that person but also yourself in the
Yeah.
meantime. So like this is one of those conversations that I'm very excited to talk to you about.
Well, I'm glad you brought it to my attention, and not to cut you off, but I just wanted to. So I'm on here for moral support, and I only can speak from this perspective of a woman. How we deal with day to day, with men with mental health. My father, my
Mhm.
brother, my child, and things like that. So we only get to see it from our lens and how we deal with our counterparts, i.e., the black man. So yeah, I'm definitely glad when you said let's talk about this. I was ready to I'm on board definitely because it's something that we need to really get out there to our black community because it's alarming. It's
Yeah,
really alarming.
it is. And it starts when we're young,
Hmm.
and you don't even realize it until it's too late, and you've made this young man that's been feeling certain things. He don't know what they are, but
No.
he's feeling something.
Hmm.
And instead of addressing that feeling, you tell him, go do something else. Something else that this. probably has nothing whatsoever to do with whatever emotion that he's going through right now.
Like, be quiet, stop crying.
Stop crying.
That part.
Stop crying. You know,
I'm guilty.
boys don't cry, you know? And so
Nope.
what you do is you become it becomes an emotional void, and it becomes an abyss after a while because you just dump everything else in it. So the only way that we know how to respond to certain things is through anger. So
I agree.
now, because I'm depressed, but I don't know how to tell you I'm depressed. I'm frustrated, but I don't know how to tell you I'm frustrated. I'm 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 sad, but I don't know how to tell you I'm sad. So the only thing I know how to do is to say to you so that you can hear me is that I'm mad and
And
I'm
you
a fight.
only right, and you're that way because on the female side is because as a mother or even a sister, you know, if we're telling you you're not supposed to do something, so now
Hmm.
you have this thing that's actually happening, and
Hmm.
you're going, okay, well, my mom, my dad, my family love me, so they wouldn't lie to me and tell me that this is not supposed to be like I'm crying, there's
Hmm.
tears coming down my eyes, so am I broken? Am I
Right.
voided because they said little boys don't cry? So why do I have tears? Now you
Hmm.
putting on this thing like, well, it's a weakness, right? So now you're
Hmm.
mad at yourself because there's a thing that's happening, and no, and I'm broken and nobody's fixing me. Why am I crying? Why am I sad? But I'm not supposed to be. So something gotta be wrong. And then you
Hmm.
take that for me seeing it, and you take that and turn it into that anger because you're
Hmm.
mad at that this is happening, but I was told all my life that it's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to be that way. You know, I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to feel depressed. I'm not supposed to feel
What is that?
sadness. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't do that. You know,
Mm-mm.
do some push-ups, do some,
Right. Go outside.
go outside and play,
Play. Get
And
punched in your
so,
chest.
right. And then what
It's not
happens
funny, but
is
it's true.
it's the truth. It's the God's having truth. And then what happens is that that person, now you build up a sense of your so the male pride is already there. It's
Mm-hmm.
intact. It's
Right.
already there. And then you add on to that I'm not supposed to feel a certain type of way. So now
Yeah.
my pride is wrapped around the fact that I'm supposed to be emotionless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Cold as
So if you
ice.
cold as ice, and so now it's going to be a conflict with my pride to even be vulnerable with you.
What's that?
You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
It's going to be a conflict with my. It's going to go against the fabric of who I have become
Yeah.
to be vulnerable with you, and that's why I say I've been on a few uh, panels
Mm-hmm.
with other people speaking about this, and I say once once a man has decided that he is going to let his guard down and give you his vulnerability,
Mm.
that is that is probably the most sacred because he has laid his pride aside. You do not
All
know
the
how
way.
much that means.
All
You
the
know what I
way.
mean? Like, that is something big. And if you take that and you do something that is
Weaponize it.
destructive to him with it,
Yeah.
he will never be the same again. And it's unfortunate because of the fact that you don't know how long it took him to get there.
I had to
You know
learn
what I mean?
that. I had
You
to
don't know
learn
how
that.
long it took him to get there. And then
Yeah.
once he gets there and he's laid that, here, you can have this with my pride,
With
because
my
my
pride.
pride is right there, right along with that. Now I'm gonna
Hand in
have to
hand.
take, right. I'm gonna have to take my pride back. And now the next person or whomever else that comes behind you, oh my goodness, it's gonna be,
So
it's gonna.
let me chime in. So women,
Hmm.
okay, listen to this. Being in psychology, being a mindset coach, this is something that I had to learn later on in life. Raising up in Brooklyn, you already know our story, being hard, dealing with those same type of guys, right? The harder the better. The harder these men were, they protected us, right? We get, hit, abused, or whatever the case may be. This was love. This is it. But that was that anger that was showing up because they couldn't express and be gentle. And I'm gonna say this to these grown women out here today, and this might be the most I'm gonna say on this podcast tonight before we talk about ourselves, is that when a man comes to you and lay at your feet with his feelings and his vulnerability, is because he trusted something in you to take this sacred part of him that was once told that he could never share with anybody, and he lays it at your feet, and then you take it and you use it as a weapon, and you weaponize it, you throw it back up in his face. Whatever vulnerability he said, hey, when I was this age, this happened, or I did this in this relationship, or I'm sorry I did this to you during this relationship, and you throw it back in his face during an argument over and over again, that one chance is done. The next conversation, and Kapla, tell me if I'm wrong, the next conversation that you're going to have when you go, baby, talk to me. What's wrong? He coming in with a hard day. He going to say, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm all right. Ain't nothing wrong. And he burning
I'm
in the
straight.
inside. He just want to say, baby, I don't know what I'm to do. And you done annihilated that relationship by weaponizing it. You're going to hear, I'm good, I'm straight for the rest of the relationship.
It's all good.
It's all good. No, I'm good. I'm straight. And you know what you just did, and it's not wrong, and I'm not condoning it. You're gonna push him to the next person.
Exactly.
That's gonna be able to listen to him. Yeah. And then he's gonna use another woman for that, and she's gonna be the best at it. She's gonna be the best at it. That's gonna be her responsibility to listen to him. And it's gonna be the best relationship you ever been in, because he's not gonna be able to tell you anything. Not condoning cheating, but I'm just trying to tell you something. Just listen. I'm sorry, Kapla, I had to get that out there because this woman is getting on my nerve.
No, I can definitely understand, because let me tell you something. This is the reason why when I hear these conversations being had and they say, well, I was with him for XYZ amount of years or whatever else like that. I did this and this and this and this and this and this and this for him and all this stuff. And then he left me and then automatically got married to someone else. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. He did not find the safe haven that he needed in you in regards to his vulnerabilities, because that's when I can't lay my trust and my ego aside for the betterment of you and for us, because and there's something about you and our exactly our household, then it doesn't matter how long we stay together. Sure don't. And it's only for the convenience.
Right.
It's only for the
exit is coming.
The exit is already. I didn't already checked out a while ago.
You don't mentally pack that luggage that he came in and he unpacked. As soon as you weaponized it, he packed it right back up. You don't even know it's sitting at the door. It's been sitting there for months.
It's been sitting there for months, for years, perhaps.
You don't even know. Don't even know. Y'all women y'all better listen to this. I'm telling y'all, we trying to teach y'all something.
I'm trying to tell you.
This is what we talking about, bridging gaps, because y'all women get on here and y'all think y'all know everything. We play victim too long. And I'm just gonna throw this out there. The same way how a little boy is taught by the elders to not cry, to suck it up, right? I love to give this analogy. You got a boy and a little girl, and I said this before, and y'all heard me, and I'm gonna say it again because I never heard it. You got a boy and a little girl, sister and brother, running down a hill. Jack in jail. Went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Right? Jack fell down and broke his crown, and then Jill came tumbling after. When you get to the end of that hill, and both of them little kids have fallen down the same hill, rolled the same amount of times, got the same skinned up knee, the mother and the father is going to run to both kids and pick them up. The little girl is going to get picked up, dusted off, kissed. Oh, she okay? The little boy's going to get dusted off, and as soon as he's crying at the same octave, he's going to get yelled at because he's crying too much. But they got the same pain, the same exact injury. We have taught our little boys that our pain don't matter, and we have taught our little girls that our pain matters, and we're going to overly dramatically show it. So now when a little girl falls, she gonna act out because she getting all the kissing and all the hugs and all the attention. But when that little boy fall, he gonna get affected. His leg could fall off because he knows that nobody gonna care about my cut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it starts from kids. At
Yep.
that moment right there, two injuries the same way, same kid. They the same kid,
Yep.
but we already jumped to the little girl first.
Yep. And the sad part about that is that that's a lesson that he'll always remember. Just the same way
Forever.
she'll always remember how she got the reaction from mom and dad, and so that same little girl is going to be able to go, and she's going to be the queen, or
Queen
the queen of,
manipulator.
manipulator, or drop,
Drama.
you know everything is to the umpteenth power now,
What?
because you know that same little boy is going to walk away from there, and he's going to be devoid of feelings.
Yep. No feelings.
You know what I mean?
Finger
Because
hanging
it's
off. Oh, this don't hurt.
because it don't matter.
It
It,
don't
it don't
matter.
matter. It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
And
Yep. And it's
and
so sad.
my problem with that is that what happens is if you don't get it from mom, if you don't get it from dad, if you don't get it from brothers and sisters,
Grandma, grandpa.
and you don't get it from grandma and grandpa, and then you grow up and you're out here in the dating pool,
Mm.
and then now you're dealing with somebody's daughter, somebody's mother,
Mm-hmm. Right.
somebody's sister, whatever, and you have that baggage.
Yeah.
And for what I'm hearing from a lot of people is they're not willing to help, to help that young man see the error in his way. Like they want a lot of these people out here want finished products, but you got to understand that there's a whole lot of unpacking that needs to happen before I even get to you, because even you, ma'am,
Ma'am.
are one of those people. I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about it in a general sense. Like even you, ma'am, are one of those people that's telling your little boy, "I'll suck it up."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We creating emotionless men out here, and I want to. So I'm gonna give a little pushback. So I always say, hurt people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two people that are hurt make hurt kids, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a society of what we talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So my pushback is I feel like there's nobody responsibility to unpack your luggage other than yourself, right? That's why when we
Right.
come back from trips, a lot of us, and I'm guilty, when we come back with them big suitcases, they stand by
Mm-hmm.
the door
Mm-hmm.
other than taking out, the dirty laundry to wash clothes, but the clothes that's clean in there folded,
Mm-hmm.
that laundry, that bag don't get unpacked until like a week or two after the trip, once you go to work and come back. Am I right
Mm-hmm.
or wrong?
I agree with
So,
you.
and guess what? And then nobody gonna pass it and unpack it for you. It's your job. So I have just a little pushback when it comes to a finished product. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
just like it's not a man's responsibility to to know if a woman's going through something, right? We could blame our
Mm-hmm.
parents all we want to, but once we hit 18, 21, it's our job to start healing and stop making an excuse of victimizing, being a victim of everything that we didn't get and didn't have and
Mm-hmm.
didn't, like you're saying, right? This is why we have this conversation. So if I know that I'm mentally not stable and I know something is just not complete about me, I owe it to myself to be the
Mm-hmm.
best person I'm supposed to be, to show up for the next person as at least a complete package. So guess what? So if you're missing the love and the vulnerability, now I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
show up as that complete woman to help you with it so that I don't throw it up in your face. So
Mm-hmm.
now when we both are incomplete, we both are pulling on each other looking for the same thing and we're not gonna get it.
Right.
You know,
My
so
my only retort to that would
mm,
be that um in certain situations, you
mm,
don't know what you don't know until someone brings it to your attention. Because say I come from an environment where, okay, cheating is just the norm around here.
mm,
You know what I
right,
mean? That's all I ever know. Everybody in my family, they just serial cheaters around me.
right,
You know what I mean? That's all I know is, what
mm,
I've been taught, what I've seen, what has, been in my immediate environment. So then I come out of this environment and I go, and I'm going with, whomever. The only way that I know that the behavior that I am doing is not acceptable is that that person has to bring it to my attention that this is not acceptable behavior.
I
Because
agree
outside of that, I've already been taught
that this is
unacceptable
okay.
behavior for
Right.
some, you know,
Yeah.
this is unacceptable here, but it's okay here. When I go here, oh, this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is the normal process around here.
Right.
But over here, they're not having it over here. You know what I mean?
I agree
So,
that it's like the same thing like with a little kid that goes from like a co-parenting household. Over
mhm,
here with mom, you get away with this, that, and the third, but then you go to dad house, it's strictly you can't do certain stuff, and
mhm,
then it's like that child got to get reprogrammed every time they go back and forth. That's why like it's hard with co-parenting because it's two different households that this child has to remember how to behave instead of
right.
just being the same way on both ends. They
Hmm.
putting on the facade every time. I can't do this with dad. I could do this with mom. I can't do this with mom. I can do this with dad. So yeah, I agree with that statement.
Yeah. So you know, that's what one of the things for me is like when you are when you are in certain environments and you've been
Hmm.
taught a certain way, it's like it's the equivalent of like you telling the child go in there and clean up the bathroom,
Hmm.
and you want the child to clean up the bathroom that the way that you want them to clean it up, but you've never shown them
Never
how you
shown
want
them.
them to clean it. So
Right.
the child goes in there and they clean up the bathroom the best way they think,
That they think. Right.
you know, should be clean,
Right.
and then you're consistently telling them no, that's not how you clean up the bathroom. You
Right.
send them back in there, but you've never shown them how to clean up the bathroom. So then, you know, they're because you're consistently frustrated
Right.
because one, you've never taken the time to show them, and two, they're not meeting your expectation of what the clean bathroom's supposed to look like.
Right.
That's kind of like my thought process in regards to that. It's like I do understand that you don't owe it to anyone, and I say that wholeheartedly. I understand
Yeah.
you don't owe it to anyone to help them to unpack, but you can
Hmm.
show them what or what behavior they need to address.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I agree. Just like 50 Cent said, he said, "I'll treat you how you want to be treated. Just teach me
Just
how."
teach me how.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I agree with the pact of helping me unpack when it comes to me because, like you said, men and women go as far as they can go to the next relationship with whatever they learned from the last relationship until
Mhm.
somebody say, "Hey, I don't like it this way," or "No, I'm not tolerating this," or this, that, and the third. So yeah, I agree. I agree with
And
that.
then the other part of that is that we have so many different types of um, emotional or mental disorders that's amongst our people
Yeah,
that
it's a lot.
aren't addressed. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing, I I I kind of I'm kind of happier with the newer age generation that's
Hmm.
coming, that's starting to recognize that, hey, you know, we can't just put Uncle so and so in the back room or whatever and keep him away from all the kids and tell all the kids to stay away from him.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm
You like don't go in that
saying?
room.
You don't go in that room like
That
you,
room right there. You just
right.
say hi. Keep moving.
Right, slide the dinner, just slide the dinner to the door
Right, and just
and
ran like
be
the
out.
children under the stairs.
You
Mm-mm.
know,
Mm-mm. Cousin
I'm
Boone, Junebug, don't not by yourself.
hey,
Mm-mm.
not hey,
Mm-mm.
don't go over there.
Don't you go
You
over
know.
there. Mm-mm. There's certain houses that you cannot spend the night.
Hmm. Hmm. You never knew why
You never knew why, but they
until
knew.
you got older and you're like,
Oh, that's what's going on.
that what was going on.
Until
But
somebody got, unfortunately.
it
Hmm.
is so imperative that I'm seeing more and more man now
Yeah,
come out and say, look, I'm not good. You know, I'm not good.
that
Um,
takes courage.
and it takes an immense amount of courage because
Yes.
it is against the societal norm.
Oh,
You are
cultural.
pushing completely against the cultural and societal norm.
That's the
The,
biggest stigma ever.
yes, you know,
The biggest
it's
stigma.
so much easier for me to say I'm good. It,
Yeah,
that's the easiest thing I could possibly.
that's
It's
all
the
you can say
biggest
because it
lie
keep
I could
people on you.
tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because to keep people off you for a little while, you know.
yeah.
But if you're
It's
in
the biggest
tune,
lie I could tell you. Like I
yes,
could tell you, oh man, I'm good.
yeah,
I'm good. And be
I'm
going
alright.
through so many different things at the
Yeah.
same time. I'm good.
So now
But
my
for
question to you is
Mhm,
when y'all men are saying that, and say this is not to the woman that violated or didn't hold true to honoring your vulnerability.
mhm,
I have a problem, and I've been in relationships where I knew that my mate wasn't good,
mhm,
and I knew that it had nothing to do because I was never a woman to emasculate a man. That's just how I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. Like they never even allowed me to say anything bad about my absentee father. Like I would
mhm.
get beat for disrespecting my dad. So when I
Right,
got older, I realized that the honor and respect of a man was important. So
right.
my question to you is, what do we do as women when you do say I'm good, and we know that you're not, and we don't want to be pushy or
Mhm,
intrusive on your I'm good, but
mhm,
we know because we know you that you're not good. How is that for us? What are we supposed to do? Because now I'm giving you space
mhm.
until I know you're really good, but then it's just business as usual. You keep going on, and I see you day after day. Now you got the vices. You're
Mhm,
smoking marijuana. You're picking up a drink, and now the drink is coming not on the weekend. It's coming straight after work every time. Like as a
mhm.
woman that's not that didn't violate, how what are we supposed to do when we know you're not good? Like how are we supposed to approach that?
So one thing that I would say would be definitely helpful
Mhm.
would be for one to be able to say, okay, I know you're good. How can we be better?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
open up that conversation so that way it broadens out a little. Because if you ask me how I'm doing in that moment, yeah, I'm good. Okay, how
Mhm.
can we be better?
How
Like
can
how
be
can we
better?
make this
Yeah,
how can we make this better? You
yeah.
know, is there anything and it would be something that I would ask, like, is there
Mhm.
anything you need from me? Anything that I can do
Right.
to help
And
you
I've
go
said
from
that.
good
Yeah, I've
to
said
better,
yeah, and
from
I still
better
get
to
I'm good. I'm okay.
yeah.
You
And
know.
see
So
that
should we be a little more aggressive? You know, like should we say, "Hey, I know you're not good," or say I usually say to some of my members when I'm at work, "How's
mhm,
your mental health?" You know, because a lot of us
mhm,
have PTSD from COVID and just other life
mhm,
things. So I go, "How's your mental health?" Because that opens up that conversation.
that conversation.
Just me saying to my coworkers, "Hey, good to see you today. Glad you made it safely to work." Sometimes they
Yeah.
turn around and look at me like I got three heads
Mhm,
because it's like, oh, you don't see me as a number. You actually noticed that I'm here,
mhm,
you know. And I
right.
just always wanted to be present. And even in a relationship, you know, when I get in
Mhm,
my next relationship, like I always want to be that person to my mate.
mhm,
But it's like I know I can be a little intrusive with the knowledge of psychology, knowing
mhm,
what I know, knowing the
right,
signs, you know, because I'm trained this even on my job to know the signs and to
right.
talk people down from rules
From
and
yeah.
things like that.
Mhm,
So when you're with somebody you care about, you can't make them into a patient or a
right,
client.
right.
So it's like for me, how do I go forth saying, hey, like, do I grab you and go lay here because I know you're not good, or how do I force it out of you without being intrusive and starting an argument and not make the man for women listening to be a recluse and retract from us, you know, because we just want you to be okay,
Yeah, see
you
that
know.
that's going to differ from one man to the next because
Mm-hmm.
some men need it put some men need the nudge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some men need the nudge.
But to put you on
Other
a
men,
headlock.
you know what I'm saying? Other men is
Get
gonna
your ass over, sit down because
they're
I know
gonna
you ain't
recoil.
good.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean? Some other men are gonna recoil, like
Right. That and that's what you don't want, you know, because it's
and
so
you don't
hard to
want
get you
that.
out of that place. You know, it's
That
so hard once a man retract. It's hard.
yeah. And so what has to happen is that he has to he has to get to a point, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a humbling thing to say to a lot of women, but he has to get to a point to where he trusts you more than he values his pride.
Y'all heard that? That was good. Say that again.
He has to get to a
You better go
point
ahead and comply to my
where
boy
he
now. You see?
trusts you
Uh-huh.
more than he values his pride. Because when
That's
he
good.
stops valuing his pride,
Mhm.
he no longer hears nagging. He
Mm.
no longer sees pushy. He
Okay.
sees suggestion and
Right.
advisement,
And
and he
care,
sees a
right?
different way and that you care.
Mhm.
So the mindset flips to
Okay.
where now I can talk to you about stuff and listen to what you have to say in response to
Right.
stuff versus, you know what, I just want quiet. I just want I don't because
Peace.
when
That's
he's
another thing. I need
that
peace.
quote unquote peace.
Trying to be peace.
No,
Trying to
because
be peace.
silence isn't peace.
It's not. That's what I was about to say. I agree. It's not. That's not
Silence
peace.
isn't peace. Silence actually can be louder than the
It's so
drama.
loud.
It's so much
Comply. It's
louder.
so loud.
The tension that comes with the silence, it
Mhm.
could be so palpable that it hurts.
Yeah, and it becomes manipulative to a certain point because it's like
Yeah.
that, like the word "I'm good," saying I'm good to get you off my back.
Mm-hmm.
I just need quiet. I just need peace, and that gets me to shut up or gets a woman
Mm-hmm.
to be quiet. But in our mind, if we care,
Mm-hmm.
we are forever because we're nurturing. So we trying to what is it that we can do to make it, like you said, make it better. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
not allotting me that, then
Mm-hmm.
how do I go forth? And then it's it
And
also goes. Get
I
yeah,
have to
okay,
let you I have to let you do what you're supposed to do for me. So
right,
what you're supposed to do for me is you're supposed to take whatever
mm-hmm.
I give you and you're supposed to help to multiply it, to nurture it, to make it into something. If I give you a
Right,
house, you're supposed to
make
turn
it a
it
home.
into a home.
Yes.
If I give you children, then you're supposed to make us a family. That's
Legacy,
you know what I
yes.
mean? Those are that's the natural order of
Take
things.
right.
However, when I say, "Hey, now I'm good," and you know something is clearly bothering me,
That's the point. Yes.
then at that particular point, I've taken you out of your natural order. So now there's disalignment within the household
That's so
because
true. Oh my
you don't
gosh.
know what to do now.
I'm walking on eggshells. I don't like, and I know, ladies. I know it's like for the women out there that wholeheartedly are not nagging, and you just want to be that piece to your man, but you don't know how because now you're walking on eggshells because you're getting the I'm good, and you know he's not good. It puts us in a place like you said. It takes our help me, our job that we supposed to do, from you. So now another question I ask you, just to throw it out there,
Mhm.
before we get to these statistics and stuff that I know we both have. What about when it comes to like the woman before that did violate that vulnerability? Is it going forever for you guys? Like did that woman burn that bridge for every woman that comes later that actually, or do you get a do over, or are you a little more careful with vetting before you actually lay your vulnerability at her lap?
So that again is going to depend on each individual man
Mm,
because there's going to be some man that's going to use that as a crutch for how he's going to behave going forward. Right.
okay.
So that's going to always be, well, I told her X, Y, and Z, and she used it against me or whatever else
Yeah.
like that. And that's going to be forever his crutch on why he chooses not to be present
Mm,
for the woman that he's going to be with or why he behaves in a certain type of manner going forward. Then
right.
there are some others that's like, okay, you know what? I'm able to compartmentalize that woman and this woman are two different women. I'm okay with being
Okay.
able to, you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
not the same. So I'm able to give this person a chance. Now there are going to be others that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be real, like they're going to be real tight to the chest about this, and they're going to, they're going you're going to have to check a whole lot of boxes in order
Gonna make us
for,
work harder.
yeah, you're going to work for it.
And
You
I'm
know what
not
I mean?
mad at that though. I'm not mad because I believe that, when you started relationships, everybody, you start out a clean slate. Like you said, you
Hmm.
don't know what you know until you know it.
Until you know.
So I won't know that I'm doing too much for guys, or you doing too much for women, until you get the violation and realize, okay, everybody don't get this part of me.
Right.
Everybody don't get this vulnerable part of me.
Right.
So I guess I'm answering my own question. So I guess it would be true to say is that you have to be that woman to this man and be whole and also show up not victimizing and weaponizing his vulnerability, you know. And a lot of women lie. We lie to ourselves when we say we're good
Mm-hmm.
and I forgive you. And I've told
Mm-hmm.
my clients that if you are cheated on or anything in a relationship and you tell this man that I forgive you,
Mm-hmm.
once you say I forgive you, it's not that you're taking the his accountability for what he did, but you're not going to keep making him relive it every time. Your job is to say, hey, I'm not really good with it. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but give me time. So now he knows that he has to tread lightly. But if he
Mm-hmm.
says, a man goes, you forgive me, oh, we good.
We good.
We back.
Back.
But
Mm-hmm.
you still withholding, you're not cooking, you bumping them off, you still being mean. It's not about him anymore. Now it's you because you lied, and now your healing needs to start because you really know you're not good.
You're
So
not
that's
good.
gonna be another thing. We're gonna make another podcast called "I'm Not Good" because this
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And to go to to skim the stats, just
Yeah, oh, these stats is staggering, boy. This
when
is something else.
you go to the um the National Center of uh, Biotechnology
Mm-hmm.
Institute, and uh, and you see that it's like 12 to 22% of our people, our black men that
PTSD.
have PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
15 to 28% of us have depression.
Look at us, got the same nose. Man, we right
I told
here.
I told you I was
Eight
gonna be
point.
on
Wait,
it.
hold on. 8.6 schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia,
Oh,
right?
we ain't even. We did our own research.
We did our
Man,
own
we
research. Yeah,
like what you call them twins back the
the Wonder
cartoon twins,
Twins, the
the
Wonder
Wonder
Twins,
Twins, Wonder Twins power on,
activate,
activate.
activate. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got 8.2 with generalized anxiety disorder, and I had
Mm-hmm.
that. Like when I tell you I had that real bad
Mm-hmm.
social anxiety, like it was something different. I didn't realize how bad a lot of stuff was for me. Like I was depressed. I was manic depressive
Oh wow.
at
Okay.
one point, and um, I had social anxiety. I was an introvert, and
I have
can
social
you believe?
anxiety since COVID.
Okay.
I don't like people no more. I'm scared, and I got
Look, I'm a.
anxiety. I ain't been diagnosed, but I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like I was an introvert. Like the person you know now
Yeah, I can't
versus
believe that.
you would never believe it. But
No,
yeah,
but not introvert. Now,
I
if you
was
said after
such an
COVID, I
introvert.
believe it. Yeah.
No, what I
Oh,
found out
really?
during COVID though was that because prior to COVID, I used to be out and about all the time, you
Okay.
know. But once COVID happened, I was like, you know what? I really do like being by myself. I don't really have to be out. Like there's
But
people
that's
out
so
there. I don't need
bad
to be
though
out.
because that's a slow form of depression.
Yeah, it
Like you
is.
start getting like right now, my house everything is dark. I don't sun comes through whatever the creases come through. I don't go and open up nothing. I'm not pulling no curtain back. I don't care about no rays of sunshine.
Now
They
you
be
can
like,
see the
"Oh, it's
sun
nice."
come through.
That's enough. They go, "Oh, it's
Mm.
nice outside." They like, "It's 95." I go, "That's nice. That's good." What you doing? Laying in my bed in the
Laying
dark,
in the
watching
bed.
TV, eat ice cream. But then you roll over. You go, "Wait a minute." That we were like, "Wait a minute, mindset life coach. uh, you depressed? Get your hands up." And
I'm
go
trying to
and go
tell
pop look and go pop your vitamin D pill because you ain't getting no sun.
you.
Now you on pills. When you can go sit outside, Avatar, go outside and touch the tree.
Right. You ain't
Jake,
lying.
Jake from Avatar, go touch the tree and put your feet through the grass. Are you what's wrong with you? Sit over here in the dark and you talk about I like being alone because I don't want to breathe. I don't want nobody sharing my ear.
I don't want nobody sharing. Look,
What?
there's people out there.
There's people out there, they sneezing. Let me tell you something.
Coughing.
Oh, let me tell you, I went to the doctor yesterday to go get a because I get sciatica bad. Yo, don't laugh at me. So I went there and I know I'm in urgent care. I get that, right? Yo, I feel like I'm like Wonder Woman. As soon as somebody sneezes, like and I turn to them. Miss, why did
Turn
it
it
come in
quick.
your mouth? And then I start holding my breath. I'm like, and then I start getting anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Want to go straight from the doctor to my car, home.
Mm-hmm.
All that going to Pizza Hut, wherever. I don't go. I haven't been in
Cancel all
Walmart
that.
since like social anxiety is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go to work, and I think the reason why I be trying to don't really go to work like that, other than my pain, is because the people around me is starting to like really, really get. And half the things we're talking about is not everything does not to be mental health where you need medication or a
That part.
diagnosis.
That
Is
part.
you knowing yourself, right?
Knowing yourself.
Everything
Yeah.
is not sitting in front of a psychologist or a therapist. So let's
Yeah.
just say that, because there are some things on here when you hear disorder, that's something that has to be diagnosed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Social
Yep.
anxiety can be diagnosed unless it becomes a disorder, meaning that you can't even go to the supermarket or go into your elevator. Now it's becoming crippling. It's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
let's be clear about that. So don't be afraid of some of the things that we're saying, and we're making light of it, but it's really serious. There's certain things that are not a disorder. There is such thing as depression around seasonal
Mm-hmm.
depression.
Seasonal depression.
It doesn't have to be diagnosed, but it's something that you realize that you get this heaviness, and you just
Mm-hmm.
have you don't want to thrive to do anything like we're talking about. So yeah.
Yep.
But go ahead
Yep.
back to your statistics. I'm sorry. Social anxiety.
Yeah. Social anxiety, 7% with
Mm-hmm.
current substance use, 28% with
Past
past
use. Yep.
use, 23 to
31.
23 to 31% depression with PTSD,
Yeah. Now
which
that's
that's a heck of
diagnosed.
a combination
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
That's a heck of a combination. Like,
That's like a Molly and a Xanax.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
That's crazy.
22% with alcohol or substance use disorder with PTSD.
And
That's
5.5 having bipolar disorder
with PTSD.
with PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah. So
PTSD is post traumatic stress disorder. In case you didn't know what it is.
yeah. So we have so many of our people, our black men, and this is just black men. This
Yeah.
this
This is
this
this
ain't
is black
nothing
men.
else.
No.
Um, so many of our people are dealing with so many different things, and what one of the things that um I try to promote is one, um, being true to yourself. Knowing, seeing, recognizing, and then responding accordingly. Okay, you know what? I recognize that. You know what?
Reflection is
I
real.
I
Yeah.
have certain things that's going on. Okay, I might need to. I might to need to go and have this checked out, or I need to speak to someone, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Um, because denial, those types of things is not bliss.
Mm-mm.
Only thing that you're doing is you're hurting the next person and yourself in the process.
You're hurting the best you.
Yeah, the best
Right.
version of you is never present if you can't admit that. Okay, you know what? I have X, Y, and Z that I need to work on,
You
or
can't show
that
up for
I need to
yourself.
address.
Right.
Yeah,
You can't show up for yourself, but you show up for everybody else.
yeah.
Everybody else. You sitting up there knowing you got things you gotta do.
And that's the most disgraceful thing that you could do to yourself, is show up for everybody else and
And
then
not
be
yourself.
absent for you.
Right.
You know,
You don't dress everybody at the ball, and you walking around here in rags. Everybody
and
dressed
right,
to the nines,
hmm
and you walking around with sneakers and a sweatsuit because you
right,
took your time to do everything for everybody else and not for yourself.
not for you. Yeah.
And that's another thing that we do as a culture is always show up for everybody else. And then when you do decide to be selfish because of your mental health, now you got the manipulated people that are entitled to your time.
Oh, that word selfish annoys me, because the word selfish comes with such a negative connotation. Oh,
Oh well.
you're selfish, and so that means that you're a bad person. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, selfish does not mean that you're a bad person. Selfish means that I'm looking out for my best interests
Right, because I've been
first.
selfless all this time with you,
Do you know
and
what I
now I need to
mean?
be selfish with my self care and my
with
self love.
with my time, with
So I
my
got a lot of
money,
selves.
with my
Yes,
emotions. I
yes,
need to be selfish with it. Like
that's right.
you, I don't owe it to you. It is out of the kindness of my heart that I give it. but I don't owe it to you at
How dare
all.
you not? How dare you not give me your time? How dare you not answer the phone every time I call? How dare you not show up when I need a ride? You don't get to tell me no after you don't told me yes 10 times.
Mm,
That's when you enable somebody becomes resentment.
mm-hmm.
Because now they have pricked you so much that no is not a part of your vocabulary when it comes to said person.
And that in itself can be detrimental to your
Very.
all. It could be detrimental to your health. Your mental health is such a because I'll say this to especially to my black men. If you don't take care of your mental health, then it's going to show up in your physical health.
Mm, yeah.
And then when you don't, when it shows up in your physical health, you know what happens after that.
Yeah.
So you have to get a hold of that mental health,
Yes.
whether that is to find something that is productive, whether it's to write, whether it's to talk.
Journaling. Yeah.
Like for me, like one of the best advice I could have possibly have gotten during the time when I was an introvert was to write my thoughts down. It
I
was
agree.
it was, you know what, write your thoughts down. And then when you get comfortable writing them down
Yeah.
enough, then start reading them. Talk, speak them out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, you'll start expressing. You'll start telling people, you know what, I didn't like when you did X, Y, and Z. And
Right.
that's okay.
It's okay.
You know what I mean? And
It's
so
okay.
now I'm able to do that. And so what I was able to do, because I did that work,
Mm-hmm.
was now I was able to give that to my kids. Like,
Right.
and I have a son that I teach him, like, son, I want you to always express to me how you feel. I don't never want to hear you tell me I'm good if you're not good. Tell
Right.
me what it is. Tell me exactly how you feel. And that's a big, because I heard, we've said so many times previously, like, hurt people,
Hurt people. Hurt people. Yes.
but it's a choice, because you could choose to hurt somebody
And you could choose to do
or you
right.
could choose not to. When you know what hurt feels like, then you can choose to go a separate route. You can
Mm-hmm.
choose to say, okay, you know what, I know what that looked like.
Right.
I've been through that.
Yeah, I know
I
that.
seen that car crash before. Now I'm gonna go a different route.
Exactly.
You know, and and that's how we break these quote unquote generational curses.
Mm.
Because I tell you what, a lot of people say they want a lot of the stuff from the old school back. No,
Mm.
no, there's certain things that
That
they
I
they
don't want.
they
I don't
need
want
to
back.
keep that.
Thank you.
They need to
Mm-mm.
keep that.
You can bring back my candy and my favorite cereal.
Can you bring back them gas prices?
Can you bring back Woolsworth? Can you bring back the Wiz? Can you bring back McCory's, please?
You know what I'm
Conway.
saying? Can you
Shoot.
bring back some of them horror movies that I used to watch back in the day?
Right. Can you
You
bring
know
me
what
the
I'm saying?
real? Can you bring that stuff back?
Because
Shoot.
outside of that, like,
I don't want it. I don't want
I,
none of it. You can
I'm
keep it.
good. I'm good. Dad, a lot of
Can you
these
bring back
daddies.
gluten? Tired of y'all.
A lot of these dads was in the house or whatever. All they knew was, work and come home, work
That's
and
right.
come
Get the
home,
big piece of chicken.
work, get
You
the
know?
big piece of chicken. You know what I mean? But was completely emotionally devoid of everything going on in the house. Wasn't available for the kids to do
Nothing. You just
anything.
came home, put
You know what
stuff
I
up,
mean? You
put
you
stuff
just knew,
down. That's it.
right? You just knew Dad was in there.
Yeah.
You
Let
know
me
what
tell
I
you
mean?
something. On my father's side,
Hmm.
so I lived downstairs with my mom and my little brother, and my grandmother on my father's side was upstairs.
Hmm.
I think I probably met my grandfather when I was probably like 10, 11 years old. I didn't know what this
Hmm.
man looked like because he was behind a black door. The door was half open. You wasn't allowed to go in there and give him a hug or nothing. You had to talk to Poppy outside the door, right?
Hmm.
Poppy, hi. He don't know who kid it is. He don't know what grandkid it is. That was it. Okay. And then on the
Right.
weekend, I was with my other grandparents. So that's how I knew my grandfather. My grandfather was behind a door for
Wow.
years. for years because he didn't come out saying, like you said, he was so unavailable. He just was there.
Right.
And that goes back to, again, giving men strategic jobs that hurt at the end. Provider, protector, professor of love is by protecting and providing. Emotions, what emotions? I'm picking my kids up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I think men only cry 3 times in their whole lifetime. At the birth of their kid, if that. If they ever get married and see their wife walking down the aisle, and maybe the death of a family member or a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, these men, I've seen men wipe their tears so quick,
Yeah.
it don't even get to the cheek. It's like pew pew. You
I
like
had.
wait, let it marinate. It's okay. No, it's acid. I can't. I gotta. I've
Yeah.
seen it watching
Yeah.
videos. I'm like, just cry.
I caught my own self. Like I
Oh,
caught my own self. I had two brothers that passed within the last 2 years.
I'm so
Um,
sorry.
Back to back. One year,
Wow.
my one brother passed, and
Yeah.
then next year, my other brother passed. Both in August, and um, I caught myself where I was like holding back, like I would feel the emotion
Mm.
and it would become overwhelming. But the moment that it felt like I was going to break, it's
You
like
walk away,
I got
shake
to
it off.
recover. Yeah, I
Right.
had to recover. So I'm speaking about this because I know what it is like. You know what I mean? I've dealt with it recently.
Mm-hmm.
That it was okay during that period of time, even though I was saying, you know what, I'm okay. I wasn't okay. And and
Right.
and, and I
That's
was
something that you
saying,
feel like you have to say.
yeah, I was
You
saying
know.
okay because I can move forward. I can live through the next couple of seconds or minutes or hours or the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get past this day,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm okay that way. But emotionally, I wasn't okay.
Right.
You
And had
know,
nowhere to put it.
and had nowhere to put it.
Nowhere to
Yeah,
rest it. Nowhere. Just
yeah,
keep carrying and carrying it. So,
right.
what can you say to our listeners, especially the men, because this was for y'all guys. I just wanted to just be supportive, a supportive ear, because I know a lot of women, even when we start talking about y'all, it turns to us.
Hmm.
It's some, well, I did and I feel, and when you did this, it was because I did that.
Hmm.
Shut up. Shut up and listen.
Hmm.
So I just want to say, like, what can you say to our black followers that's listening out there, to the guy that may feel like he has no one to turn to, that he can't trust. The only talk that he can ever get is inadvertently in a barbershop,
Hmm.
or that that's where most men, y'all talk about everything to get it out, but y'all don't talk about everything. Like, you still go
Right.
to the barbershop and y'all
Hmm.
talk smack, but it's really not
Hmm.
that conversation, and we don't have a
That ain't
lot
deep.
of community out here for you guys. So what would you say to that guy right now that may be listening, that just needs to know that like my boy, my ex, he got a shirt that says therapy is dope. So what
Hmm.
can you say to that person to say, hey, therapy is dope? And as a black man, you're doing yourself a disservice by not going and keep
And
saying that it's okay. Like, what would you be able to
yeah,
say to those that's listening,
and that's
to
going to
that
be
man?
the key part of it is that you, even though whatever you may have been through is discouraging,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm not going to ever um, downplay or um, make light of
Yeah.
the the significance of what may have transpired in a man's life, because I mean, what may be small to me may be something completely gigantic and burdensome to the next person. So, what I
Right.
would say to that particular person is not to give up hope. The best version of yourself is where you want it to be. So, if you decide that, hey, the best, if there's any type of progress that can be had, whether that may be, okay, um, I'm going to seek counseling,
Yeah.
whether it's therapy, whether you find that somebody, because sometimes your best therapy is finding a person that has been through some of the stuff that you have been through, and they can just talk to you in a certain manner. Like,
Right.
I do not have a degree in psychology or therapy, but I get a lot of people that like to talk to me because of the way that I speak,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that I can speak directly to a particular situation and say, hey, yeah, I may not have been through exactly what you've been through, but
Right.
I can understand, and I
Right.
can see a different, path for you to go, rather than thinking about it this way. There are other ways to think. There
Right.
are other ways to move. There are certain constructive things that you can do that will allow you to put your best foot forward. And I think that that's most important, is that um and everything that you do, to thine own self be true.
True.
Be true to yourself. Be true to who you're looking at in that mirror,
Right.
and allow yourself to be the best version of who you're looking at.
The best version of yourself. Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's the biggest thing that I could ever tell anyone is,
Mm-hmm.
like, we all we've all come through something. Believe you
Yeah.
me,
Right.
we all come through
Yeah.
something, and it's not been easy. And there's even for me, there was that one that, I laid everything at her feet, and she did what she was she did what a young person is supposed to do, which
Okay.
is not understand.
Mm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so that on that non-understanding, that caused a big issue
Mm-hmm.
going forward for me and my ability to trust and things of that nature.
Yeah.
you know but once I got to the point where it was like, okay, this is a hindrance to
Mm.
being the best man that I could possibly be
Mm.
for my kids, for for my significant other, for
Right.
whomever. Like, once I see that, because of what I have allowed this to be,
Yeah.
it won't allow me to be the best version here. Okay, now I got to do something about
Now you
this.
gotta do something about it.
Yeah, I got
That
to
was
do
good.
something about it. Like, and so when you recognize that there's a problem, it is your responsibility to find a resolution the
Yes, I
best way
agree.
you know
Yes.
how. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, I know we have a lot of videos of men always apologizing to women for what a man in our past has done to us. I want to take this time and give that back to you guys. As a young girl growing up in the hood, not understanding and not having that male presence like I was supposed to have, everything was about us. I want to say to the men listening to this, especially my black men, my brother, my cousins, my uncle, our followers, I want to say to y'all that I see you. You're not alone. You do matter. Your feelings are validated. You don't have to be strong all the time. It's not about us, and it's always been about you guys. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your service. Thank you for loving us past our pain. Thank you for putting up with our less than kind attitudes toward you. Thank you for providing. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a father. Thank you for being a great dad. Thank you for being a great son. Um, I just want to say that mental health is important to me on that side as a life coach also. And I want to tell you men that please go talk to somebody. And if you do have a woman in your life that is doing her part, let her in and
Hmm.
let her be that nurturer that you need. Let her be that peace that you need. And if you are with someone that is not doing that, like he just said, get out and leave because women are toxic. they some are conniving, and they do weaponize and use and victimize their feelings and make it about them, and turn the narrative around on you when it's really on them. There are narcissistic women out there, but I want to tell you that I see you showing up every day, and you are wonderful. I appreciate you, and I thank God for the men that you are, and I love y'all.
Exactly that part right there, and that's that's me as a man. You know, no Diddy. You
No
know,
Diddy.
no Diddy. Like
That shouldn't even be a
I,
thing.
I
Oh,
love I love my people.
right,
Period. You know what I mean?
right,
And that includes the men that's out here that, I know you struggle. I know what you
right,
struggle with. You know what I mean? I
right.
struggled with it too. I'm not going to say that I got everything correct,
Mm-hmm.
or that everything is peachy or whatever I said that, but I thank the Almighty that it is not what it used to be.
It's not.
You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing that I could possibly tell you. What the best version of me is when I look at my son and I see that young man at 21 years old is nothing like how his father was at 21 years old. That's
And
the
that's what
best
you want.
version of me.
You want your kid to do much greater
Yeah,
things than you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you have anything else that you would like to say? So I want to say this. So what I realize is that even though we have a lot of mental health issues in our community, the
Hmm.
good thing that I did see about it was they say that overall that our unalive rate is only
It's, it's much lower.
is much lower, 60% lower than the average non-Hispanic counterparts, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that is only, it's, even though it's the second leading unaliving rate for men 15 to 24, overall we dropped 60% when it comes
Hmm.
to that. So that's a good thing. So that's telling me that you are going to therapy and you are realizing how valuable your life is, even though society and supremacy side says that
Hmm.
you don't matter. You're not a number. You're not property. You're a human being, and your feelings are valid.
Right.
And I just wonder, like, you have anything to say before we close this segment out?
Yeah, I
This is
do.
very
Because
important.
yeah, I do. You do realize that you were just saying unalive like we on TikTok.
Well, it's going to be on TikTok, so yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Remember,
okay,
I
okay,
did it. I
good.
did it on purpose. I've been studying this because
I was like, wait, hold on. Why
no,
is she saying okay,
because if we
got
put
you.
if this is a part that we put, yeah. So
Got you.
don't be
But
coming for me. You know how many times I got banana? He ain't right, y'all. He like, you do. I
I'm
said it
like,
for a
wait, hold
reason.
on.
Cause
Okay,
look, if you see my notes, I wrote Suey, but I got unalive next to it. I know what I was doing, comply. You see how you don't blow me up this? I ain't even gonna cut this out. I'm gonna leave this right here. That is, look, you see, now I'm depressed. Now I got issues. See, this is why I stay to myself.
this is why you have so anxiety now, huh?
Now I
This
got
right here.
podcast anxiety. I'm doing a podcast next week by myself. It's gonna be the female perspective.
The
Forget the
whole
male.
female.
Whole female perspective. No more male. No,
You
but I
know,
did that on Bird because we streaming on both.
got you. Okay.
You see, I'm talking about the shade, honey. It ain't
Look.
even no umbrella in here.
This is what we do, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like we
you ain't
had a
right.
we had a whole hour or something full
Yes,
of being,
sentimental.
you know what I'm saying. Now it's time to get to the.
He like, this girl saying unalive like we
Wait,
we
wait,
on
wait, wait,
TikTok.
wait.
But you know how long it took me to study this. All one say Suey. Shoot,
Oh my
because
goodness!
you know
But
they unforgivable. They don't care.
yeah, they
But
don't.
no, but
They don't. You ain't. You got
yo,
a
I
point.
can't wait to play this back. That was funny. I want to see your
but
face.
yeah, I mean, I said everything that I possibly can say in regards to the importance of mental health
Yeah,
for us, man. Like, um, there's I I've- I think that for a lot of men, it's just as important to to take your pride out of the way,
Yeah.
to allow yourself to get what you need, whether that may be therapy, whether that may be to be vulnerable, whether that may be um, to get counseling, whether that
Yeah.
may be just to look at yourself in a whole truthful perspective, because the first part of the whole entire process is you got to be true to the person that your star player that you look in the mirror every day. You got to
Yes.
be truthful with that person,
Yes, you
because
do.
if you don't recognize that you have a problem, then that's the problem.
Then that's the problem.
That's the first problem right there, is
Amen.
that
Mm-hmm.
you don't recognize that you have a problem. So we could talk until we're blue in the face, but you have to be truthful with yourself. Don't If you can lie to anybody in the entire world, don't lie to you.
Don't lie to you. How about that part? How about that part? Don't lie to you. This has been amazing.
What a wonderful topic. You know, we, we what can you say?
What
What
can
really
you
can you
say?
say?
Uh, thank you, TikTok and YouTube.
You know what? You ain't gonna let me let it down, are
I
you?
sure now I'm gonna play. That's gonna be a clip. That's gonna be the first one I put on TikTok. You know that we be doing on YouTube. We doing 3 things over here. We doing TikTok, YouTube, and we doing podcasts at the same time. Okay.
My bad.
I am the engineer and the and the
I
behind the scenes.
be forgetting,
Everything.
you know. I
Don't
be
worry, he gonna get
forgetting.
responsibility. You know,
I
you
forgot
just
how
worry about
big.
keeping your mic on. Okay, static.
You know what? I don't have to take this. this is this is what the female perspective looks like, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm making it about me. I'm mad, and I'm not saying I'm okay.
Always a pleasure, though, Shauna.
Always a
Always a pleasure.
pleasure. This has been the Male Female Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Shauna Speak. This is my boy, Kapla. And take care of yourself. We see you next week.
See you next week.
Let's go.